Hey guys, welcome to my trading recap for Friday, October 6th. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about passing $150,000 evaluation and as well as a trade that I took off again too early, same as yesterday. Don't know what I was thinking, can't stick to my rules. Let's get into it. So you can see this is the account that I passed. I had about $800 to go. You can see here not many trades. I'll look at the charts to kind of give you guys a glimpse of what we're looking at here. So first trade, pretty much a full point to the upside. And you can really see I was playing to the upside for a number of reasons. Primarily because, the market bounced yesterday like I haven't seen since the bull market of 2021. So really, I'm thinking we might be kind of faking people out and going back to the upside. And what I mean by that is, let me just kind of pull up this chart for you. We'll just jump back into the full screen. And if you look in the upper right, this is just a daily. Get this zoomed in for you guys. We got just daily NQs on here. Nothing crazy to look at. Yesterday is doji, but if we look at kind of the inner workings, obviously we have a double bottom here that took out this sell side liquidity. We have a gap from back in June that still hasn't been filled. And then obviously here, before this candle was put in, right, I have buy side at the top wick. Some people might say, well, it's more of the swing based on the bodies. For me, I believed that this was not a swing. This was kind of a fake out again. And they really can't test this. This is clearly a buy point. And I'm going to get into what I saw on a lower time frame that really made me comfortable. And then we have obviously a fair value gap up here. The trend line you could put in. But really, on a daily basis, what are we seeing here? We had kind of sell side. We hung out right in between ranging. So I went into the market. We had non-farm payrolls, which is a really important market mover, almost as important as CPI and FOMC. And so if you look at the main chart here in Tradevate, at about 6:30, the numbers come out. And what it was we had way more non-farm payrolls. It was like double, if I recall. And so we flushed down. And for me, based on yesterday, again, let's just kind of look at the upper left here. This is the hourly. I've highlighted yesterday. I've included some notations here. This was obviously yesterday's low. Not lows. And you got yesterday's high. And this was the open for today's contract. And you can see here we flushed through that. We were kind of, basting around where we closed yesterday. But really from what we had yesterday, I was pretty confident that if we had a bounce, it might be able to sustain, so many times. You don't even have to look back that far when you have a sell-off. So this was, at the end of September, right? You open, you sell off, You think you're kind of bounce here, and you continue the sell-off. That's just how September was. Looking back, sell-off. Right here, you come flush down, and you don't get much of a bounce, flush again. But here's the kind of that first sign that we're getting into this buy. And this is really what gave me what I have measured out as order block. So what do I do there? So you can kind of see we came in all the way into this order block. And so you could also kind of say this is the order block. And what you do is you grab the fib, and since these are both down candles, you can kind of group it together since we're on an hourly. You can kind of be a little bit of art there involved. I believe it was 86 was the low. And you can see now, again, zooming out a little bit, guys, we have a daily gap from way back here. Now we came up, went to a new high. I have no idea what even these are showing you, but really like you coming up, new high, crash down right into this open, don't fill, bounce up, not strong enough, come back, test lower, and that you could argue is the swing. You come back basically right to it. You don't go, this is the low. Here you bounce off of it. And what you're doing here is this. So you're saying this is the order block. This is where the smart money is. It looks like it's selling. Retail thinks you're selling. This is where they're gobbling it up. So when we come down here yesterday and we bounce and we bounce all the way over the open, the New York time open. And we settle kind of, we have some pullback. I mean, look at this market. She is just blowing past us. Now we've taken that to the upside. So you got to say this fair value gap is getting ready to get touched. So I might be that's just something to look into for next week if we don't just hit it by the end of the day. It is a Friday. Could we have a blow off? Absolutely. I wouldn't be getting long going into the weekend though. This type of move obviously should sustain, but you should also be able to capture some of it on Monday. How do you capture it? Well, if the market continues to gap up, there should be some people that were overnight or from Friday taking profits, and then you can buy that dip. Or if it, is lower, then, you're happy you're not in at the open. And if it is still strong, she should climb from the open next week. So a couple little scenarios to play out there. But needless to say, super strong. And when I saw this at 6 in the morning, into 6:30, and we bounced. I mean, look at this. This is where the low goes. You come into this 25 percentile. Obviously, these fibs are flipped around, but you come in 25% of this order block, completely acceptable, and it is off to the moon. So you could say that until proven otherwise, this order block. So now we see the fibs, and you can kind of eyeball it because that is kind of right in the middle. Isn't that ironic? Right in the middle of this order block is that open. So it's going to take something fierce to come through here in the future. So we're going to kind of keep a note on it. It's not going to be something we're going to be completely worried about, but we've got, this is something I want to kind of throw up here. We got an hourly order block. And we can kind of, you can jazz it up however you want. Look at that, right on the center. That is just, that's something. That's something. So that's there. Okay, so let's get back to the trades. Let me kind of zoom in here for you guys. Okay, so first trade's a full take. I had my stop wrong. I took 95. My target is 20 ticks. 5 points with a stop loss of 10 points, 40 ticks, okay? And we can see here, really for me, when I get my evaluations close, I'll trade a group of them together. You'll see, I'm fully transparent. I was at one point doing 20 evaluations at a time. You mess that up one time and you kind of say, okay, maybe I don't need to do 20 at a time. Because I first started, my first evaluation, I passed one. It took, I believe, 11 tries, if my memory serves me correct. And then after that one, I passed my next 6 in a row, and those were each 2 at a time. And then I went on a bit of a cold streak. I was not having the right mental headspace, and that came back to bite me. And I'm now just getting it back. What you guys might have seen at the end of my videos, I really needed to kind of just going back to what I know, what I've developed, and what gives me confidence to get in a trade and stick to my rules, have good rules, and not overtrade. So one of the things that I do is I try to stick to 5 trades a day, no more. If I'm trading more than 5 trades a day, I'm overtrading. and it's probably because I'm red. So one of the other things I do is my first trade can really make or break me lately. And so my first trade is done only in evaluation accounts, nothing with my prop accounts, nothing with my own brokerage accounts, no trades that can affect me. Because if I lose that first trade, I stay in the simulator. I stay in the evaluations. You know what I mean? I don't, until I prove to myself that I'm seeing the market right, I don't bother with real money really. You know, evaluations are real money, but there is that less investment, right? If I've got an evaluation for $20 or $50, you know, for me for a day, it's no problem at the end of the day if I have to take my aggression and my inability to trade successfully out on that account. It is what it is for me. I'm okay with a $50, $100 psychological improvement. For me, I do a number of things. Not to get into this too much, but for me personally, I take copious notes. For me, this is one set of documents for 1 week, and I'm each day's got different things going on. Whether it's my bots, who haven't been doing well at all, but some of my indicators are doing really well. Just keep daily notes, and then I use Trader Sync and that was just what I want to do here is I'm going to recap my day, show you that, recap the entire evaluation, show you how many days it took me, and everything you'd want to know about that, and kind of talk some statistics so you guys get an idea of somebody who has been paid out, who has now my 8th prop account, funded account with Apex. Couldn't be more excited. I'm really happy about this one because my last trade, I was about $700-800 away, and I was just everything I was seeing today. I was like, I'm gonna put a big contract order for 1.5 points in a certain spot, and I feel like if the market climbs back up to it, it's just gonna rip through that area, and we'll show you it's exactly what it did. So let me zoom in here. First trade, full move. Come down, avoid, lower low. So you have the immediate flush, and you have, you would argue a lot of this first reaction is profit taking, whether it's algorithms profit taking. Everyone's kind of, if you were short, you'd want to take something off, wouldn't you? And so you always kind of want to see a second wave. We get the second wave. We get a good bounce off this level. Really, I mean, look at that level, 660. I had that level on a fib, and it gave me a lot of confidence. I saw, coincidentally, ES bouncing at the exact same time. So let's just show you guys. I'll show you that. So I'm going to jump into here, and let's just pull up the hourly. And you can see, well, I think we can pull up smaller time frame. Look at this. I mean, just respect. And I had a fib on that level, obviously. It's perfect little spot there from my order block. And so just kind of seeing the same thing in ES gave me confidence. Hey, this might have been the low. I actually put a trade on, which I'm going to cover at the end. Let me just pull that up. As I we'll cover that there in a minute. And this one. All right. So let's just see here. I bought this at like 750-ish or so. So I guess it did take me a while to get the confidence. So we'll get back to what I was looking at here. Oh, looks like that crashed. That explains it. All right. So just to carry on here, we can show you guys a couple things. But, this is an account that I was close to getting funded. So for me, it's as good as real money goes. Oh, I hope I didn't lose that. But Sorry, let's just go full screen here for you guys. Okay, so first trade, full point. Second trade, I got stopped out, right? Market's coming up, opens. You know, I'm by here. I get a little bit of heat against me, comes up. I move my stop up. And it basically, before she closes, I get stopped out. This one just didn't like the action, which obviously there's some heat after, so I kind of took that one off for break even. Another break even, that's telling me, hey, you might not feel confident, so look what you're doing. Be aware of, you know, what can kind of affect you as a trader, what can affect you as an individual, and how can you take that to your advantage. So for me, it was just getting out, staying out. I don't want to ruin my day. Going into the weekend, you never want to lose it all, give it all back on a Friday. It happens, and it's the worst feeling because you don't trade until, well, you probably jump on Sunday because you're fiending to get right. But that's the psychology of it. That's what happens. It happens to everyone. You got to get over that shit. Okay, so you can kind of see I sat out, and actually this is, you can see, so my last trade here is 7:15, so for before the bell. You know, for me, I kind of felt like I should have been buying this. So in this chop zone at the open, I'm not doing anything. I had some moves here, and we'll get into that. But you can see here, let's get into, again, I'm not showing you guys everything. I have fibs, and I had a fib at 11. So I had a target of 11 here, and I had a kind of a breakaway above this high. And so I wanted to give some room, just giving you the thought. I have been seeing a lot of this pattern. Let's just... So I would see this. This is a charting tool, but really you have the 1, and then you have the 2, the 3. You know, you're seeing this stepping pattern. Trying to get people out from here, thinking we're going to turn back down, step up, try to get people out. And so I had basically a buy, and I figured, okay, they could come up and take liquidity, and if they're just taking liquidity, I'm going to leave a couple points there because I don't want to get, you know, I had a buy stop and a buy limit sell. And so for me, I put on 15 contracts, and what I did was I just had it at the 405 to the 7, and I felt, okay, if it comes over here, ticks above and comes back down, I won't even get in the trade. But if it goes here, I really feel like it should flush through. And we'll pull up like, I don't know, how low can I take this? Can we do 1 second? Because you're going to see something pretty sweet. All right, let's see where my trade was. Well, we can go to the Performance Center, and this trade was at 904.48. We'll get over that in a sec. 904.48. I didn't even know you could chart this. We're almost there, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. It'll be useful. Look at this. I mean, if you knew where a volume pocket was, or you knew we were going to blast off, guys, let's look at my performance. Okay. No losers today. Quick hitters out, and then this is the banger for $700. And you can see here, I get it on and off before I can even blink. 1 second. Beautiful. 15 contracts. Don't recommend doing that. That's over leveraged. But I felt very confident in that area that if I got to the 405, I was going to get all the way. And didn't take more than a second. And for me, super stoked about that. So that's my evaluation. Let's look at the entire time frame. Okay, go. And the problem is I want to show you guys is, so again, I take copious notes. I track all of my trades. I use a product called Trader Sync. I did my research, and that was the one that did the best for me. I liked, having things auto sync and auto tag and kind of their features with some of the brokerages that I have. But I've got copious notes, but then I also have an online database, and this looks like she's just we started there. I'll try again. It never works right when you want it to. That's fine. That's too bad. There's a couple nice charts to. All right, well, we'll give that a second. We can jump over here. I do not normally import my evaluations into this is my income, but I thought it'd be good for you guys to see a daily breakdown. So again, some more insights. I've found for me, you can pass evaluations with some prop firms as fast as you open the account, which is fine. I did hear a CEO of a prop firm mention that whatever habits and trading you take and use for the evaluation is generally something at some point you'll resort back to, if not use the entire time. So if you're the kind of guy that's just going to buy the account, load it up, and log in, buy max contracts, and see if you win, hey, eventually you'll get a PA account, but what's your strategy then? For me, I take as serious as possible. I do have moments where it's just like, whatever. Maybe I have a bad trade in my brokerage account. I'm like, I still think we're long. And instead of making a major investment, I have an evaluation account for $20. Hey, let's see if I'm right for $20. Better, it's just something I do. I need to get away from it a bit. A little bit of too much information here, but let's just look at it. So for me, on average, 15 days. So about 3 weeks of trading to me to hit my targets in any size evaluation. If it's a 50K, my target is on a daily basis, $500. And I'm trading one contract at a time with 5 trades, $500. So if I go 5 for 5, I've hit my goal. If I go 4 for 5, I might allow myself 6th trade. But if I start out at any point, if I have 3 losers in a row, at any point, I am done. That's how I keep it. And if I hit my targets, I walk away. The biggest thing that kind of mess me up and mess other traders up is these markets are always open. And if you're a gambler and you live in the casino, you're generally not going to win. At some point, they're going to get you in a weakness. Maybe in the casino, you've had too many drinks, and that can happen here too. Or, you have mental blocks, you've gotten a fight, you're not thinking clearly, you didn't get enough time to prep for the market. I try to be in 2 hours before. I've been tracking. If I have less than 2 hours ahead of time, I just have things to get off my chest. I got to Google this or do this. And I find that if I can spend an hour just getting that out of my head, then spend the next hour getting into the market, trying to read it, trying to understand it, trying to be a part of it, and then go. So for me, just looking at this account, again, we can kind of pull it, but what do you notice? The first thing you'd say is, oh, you didn't have a losing day. That's pretty impressive. And that's part of my strategy. I looked at this evaluation and it was 80%. Let's just go ahead and look at this. So this would be all the trades. And what a lot of people don't know, like, okay, so this was a $150,000 valuation. You need to make $9,000. I had to make $10,360 after commissions. And that's the other thing is some prop firms may pay you out faster, but their commissions are 50% more. And because I'm a scalper, that can actually add up. And so if you can get APX accounts after the fourth month, cashing out every 2 weeks, if you're a consistent trader, makes a lot of sense. If you have a windfall and being able to cash that out immediately, that is very advantageous. So I am trying to work with Take Profit Trader. I've done a few of them, and I have been trading through TradingView, and I'm not happy with TradingView. The data to me feels slow. If I'm looking at other sources, the data feels like they're a minute ahead, maybe 10 seconds, but that feels like an eternity, as you guys probably know from high frequency traders. But anyway, so let's just get into it. So here's the first trades. Look, here's what I'm most proud of on day one. I was green. I had a big loss, basically a full stop. So we can pull this loss up. Now that looks like a lot of contracts. 5, 10, you're up to 15 contracts. That's over trading, right? So mistake number one, oversized, right? I'm still within my 5 rule. This was trade number 4, but I oversized and I was able to say, hey, this is an evaluation. Just walk away. Do you want to take a 5th trade after that? After you went 15 contracts deep, pretty much full port? No. So that's day one. Super happy with that trade. And the fact the trade was I traded trading for something else. And I come back and we start again. If I start green, I usually have a green day. When I get in trouble is when my first trade is. So I've been working against it. So on the 22nd, 4 trades, 4 green, walk away pretty much at target. Done early Friday. Let's move on. Monday, nice, a little starting to oversize here. Okay. And then we have a bad trade. It's not a terrible trade. When we look at it, if you look at it, let's observe. 12 seconds, the market flushes me out. But here's the thing. I should only be doing at most 3 contracts in a 150K account. I'm doing 5. So this is first indicator I'm doing something wrong. Okay. I come back. And so what happens is I'm a scalper. And if I'm scalping, there's a number of things that I'm looking at that I feel are to my advantage. And what do I mean by that? I feel that I have different data points that they're telling me go long or go short. Okay. And in 12 seconds, okay, maybe I just, click around and make a mistake for 12 seconds. I'm flushed out. Okay. And so what happens is when you get those indications, the algos get them too, guys. And guess what? Their shit's better than ours. So they're like, oh shit. Okay. This market's going to go up. Let's just take all these stops out, right? My stop, I got to stop. People have to have rules when you do this, because if you don't have rules, you're just going to basically be willing to give up too much. So I get stopped out. Look at the next trade. Okay. Let's take a note here. 44.32 and the market is at 22. So I bet, I had my stop a little bit bigger. That's why it's over $1,000 loss. I have 5 contracts. Realistically, this should have been a $600 loss, not a $1,000 loss. Just something there. And I still would have been 600 against those 2. Those are, again, oversized. That's my first indicator. My next trade though, I come back 10 seconds later, the market already came back 5 points. Okay. So she's coming back. That's telling me, hey, algos are taking profit. They're gonna just buy it right back up because you're not fast enough. So they're gonna sell it, capture you guys. You're on the orders, and then just buy it up. Go. Okay. So I said I'm gonna jump on that train. Buy a piece. And I'm not mad about this because I see it coming. But what I am mad about is just the size. At most, this should be 3 contracts or 6 contracts. 15, you're asking for trouble, a death spiral, as I would call it. But regardless of the fact, within a minute and a half, we're kind of out for a handful of points on 15 contracts. That's a good one. And you can see here, I'm being very quick, but I'm still trading way too much size. That's not even really profitable. And too many trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. Okay. Okay, so that was, those two were, okay, so you can see here I had 2 trades, sorry, on Monday, and I start out on a bad one. And this is the oversizing problem, okay? You start this trade off, you know, here, realistically, what I probably was thinking was, okay, you went with bigger size, you had to double down, you got out, $1,000 goal hit, done. Okay, you come back in. If the first trade's a loser, that can be a problem. What's the problem? I shouldn't have started with 5 contracts. I oversize, and now I'm over trading and scared. Okay, I take 5 more trades, and I'm like, you know what? You got to walk away. You got to walk away. You're green. And now here we are, September 27th. So just looking at the calendar. So, you know, 5th, 6th, 7th on the calendar. And on the 7th, you start again, too big a size. This is probably being trade replicated, but, you know, what I like here is okay, on the 27th, I open up with big contract, big size. And so on my small account, I'm down $200. On this one, I'm down, well, this was, I probably treating it the same as like a 300K evaluation. And for me, I said, okay, these are evaluations. What I need to do is stick to more of my goal, right? And so this one, it'd be $1,000 loss and a $500 win. And you can see what basically I was doing was just capturing smaller moves quickly. But you can see the only reason I allowed it to go, no bad trades, right? You got out. Okay. So now we're on to the 28th. And we've got a good trade, nice break even. And we're out and done with our 5 trades. Good day, right? And 29th, here comes the over trading. My first trade, I go long, and I probably panic out. I see I've pushed my size down as I get closer. Okay. Once I get about halfway on an evaluation, I start taking it more seriously. 25%. It's got my radar, but the first few trades on evaluation, I'll be honest, like, you know, if they're losers, I might just, you know, I'm not going to waste my time trying to dig. You know, it's hard enough making $9,000 on 150K evaluation. You know, if you want to go and try to make 15, 14, 13, and jump down to micros, you know, you could, you know, for me, cost benefit analysis of my time and what I'm trying to build, I just could get after it. Okay. But let's just go through this. So 29th, look at just really small trades with the size. And those are small. This is not good. This is bad trading. Okay. You know, I'm scared. I'm skittish. You know, you've got way too many trades, too small size, but I'm green. And I'm able to just kind of probably walk away happy and, you know, feel like I got away with one. This is a Sunday trade. I don't trade on Sundays, so I wasn't really happy about that, you know, but I took it, got out, moved on, took a point, minus $9 commission. And this is where, you know, this week I was like, okay, I'm getting this, you know, close. I need to start taking it seriously. So Monday, absolutely, you know, what I don't like here on Monday is that size to make that kind of money. That's not good. And then I go back down one more trade, but really I didn't even need to make this trade. But I was grateful to have a profitable trade, and I was like, hey, you got lucky going 15 contracts deep. This is what would blow up an account. You can't do this in a PA account. That's what will ruin you. And I was still, one thing that I do, just to give you guys some information, one thing I do is the day after what I feel like is bad trading, or if I feel like I'm getting emotional, you know, I'm getting, I need to win. I need to, you know, my gambler in me. The need to succeed. If I feel that, the best thing I can do is just take a step back. And so if it's try a brand new evaluation, bring that one up. Try not to trade. And so for me to see this one trade on Tuesday, love it. The fourth, this is going to be a problematic. Look at. You want to see some over trading? No, it can't almost. Again, this is something that, you know, this is an evaluation. So I mentioned to you guys that I start my first trade of the day with futures in an evaluation. If it's a loser, I stay in evaluation. If it's a winner, I will allow myself to go to my PA accounts. But here it begins. Too much size for this. What are you taking? A tick? You're taking a tick? 3 contracts for a tick? That ain't going to get you rich, dude. That's going to get you in trouble. So, again, it is evaluation. But for me, I mean, over trading, I mean, just probably no setups. So what do I do? Here, lucky to be green. Over trading, got lucky. I took the day off from all my evaluations that were up. I think yesterday I actually blew a couple of evaluations, full transparency. My thing was, you know, the bounce, I kind of got caught up in the chop before she popped back up. And that's fine, because the day after I have a bad day of trading where I'm like, dude, even if you're green, if you allow that trading to continue, it'll wreck you. So you take the day off, you trade sim, trade evaluations. There's nothing wrong with out trading and making money. You prove what the fuck you're doing. Hey, is it fucking working? Like for me, what fucked me in 2022 was 2020 was bullish AF. Go long, stay long, you'll be fine. 2021, go long, stay long, you'll be fine. Well, what do you think I did? Go long, stay long, I got fucked. Boy, did I get fucked in 2022. But instead of being a little bitch and whining about my fucking problems, I was like, I got to find a way. That's where I started finding out about prop firms and saying, hey, you know, I have a business mindset. I have business background. That's my expertise. Still am an expert in marketing. Not maybe as technically an expert as I once was. But if you need a marketing campaign, I'll hit it out of the fucking park for you. So I take the fucking day off. That's a fucking lesson, dude. What would I do normally? Fucking let's blow some evaluations. I'm long. I like it. Bullshit. If you get biased in the fucking market, it's long. It's got to be long. And don't let the market tell you what it is. You're going to get ran the fuck over. So, you know, I hope this was informative to you. You can see here, let's see if there's any data that you guys might want to see. Oh, this would be a good one since we didn't populate. Okay, here we go. This did end up finally populating. Nice steady curve, right? Now, if it's up and fucking down, you got problems. Not sticking to your rules. Don't have any fucking rules. If you're trading without rules, add rules. I have all kinds of rules. You know, I had times where I was hungover and I was like, I got to get my trading day in. And I, you know, overtrade, oversize, get lucky, win. Well, it'll catch up to you. Trust me. Just like a gambler. You know, if you got to gamble on every football game, you know, that's one thing I learned about being a profitable gambler is if you need a fix on a daily basis, you're not actually gambling. You're actually gambling. You're not trying to make money, not trying to be a winner. So let's look at that with that in mind. I trade first 90 minutes of the day, maybe based on economic news. I might trade a little earlier. But look at here. 7:30 in the morning, over 50% of my income comes from. That tells you guys, look at this. Like, just get the fuck away. I told you I had to be in the office 2 hours before I start trading. Okay. And I trade for 2 hours. So my day potentially is 4 hours. Now, I do additional stuff. I'm kind of a workaholic. I'm very passionate about what I do. I read. Always learning. I read one book and listen to at least one book a month. Usually technical. Learn. I just love that. But let's get into this. I want to show you guys. Average hold time 23 seconds. It makes sense that the losing time, because the stop's twice as big, would be twice the amount. The thing you don't like to see is, this win-loss is pretty good, but you have this big loser that was coming from oversized. If you can chop a couple of these out, you're good. Like, look, if you chop that trade out, one or two trades that I don't oversize in, I'm passing this faster. This data's a little better. Again, first 2 hours a day and I'm pretty much done. Let's see if there's a couple other things I want to go through. I didn't really put this. Let's see what the other day of the week looks like. Okay. It is what it is, because I didn't take that Thursday. If we look on the monthly, guys, for me, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading days. Wait, 4. Yeah, I guess because I don't really, for me, a lot of people will, what you do is you pass the test. And if you do it within 7 days, you can flip. They're okay with that. Just a micro, like buy in, buy out, and trade it for the day. But when I usually start out or wherever I'm at, like I sometimes might make a trade and just to keep the account active or something. That's kind of what this day was for me in this account. So realistically, and this doesn't really count because these 2 days technically are the same contract. So it wouldn't count as 2 trading days ever. But super happy. Again, I need to be over 80% with my strategy, or 70%. I ended up, did I show you that? Okay, so 138 out of 172, just over 80% efficient. And if we look at contracts, that number, just for reference here, I can't do that one in my head as much as I want to be able to.
Order filled.
Oh, looks like I got a contract. Yeah, about 80% again. So same. So that's my recap, guys. Thanks for being with me. If you've been through all of this, we've covered. Well, actually, one more trade. I want to kick myself. This is the second day in a row this trade's happened to me. I saw it set up. I had too much heat against me would be. For me, I actually, based on my rules, when you're trading 0 DTE, you have to be fine with a 50% movement. Like 0 DTE, you're looking for 100% gain or 100% loss. Like that's your loss. So for me, I've been kind of just a $2,000 trade. I wanted to just pull up that image quick. So let me just go. Okay, that's not what I want. So let me just pull it down here. Okay, so sorry, let's do one last thing before we get to that. This is my month of October. Here, I passed my test here. You need 10 days to withdraw. So here's my strategy. This is important for people who maybe have never had a PA account. One thing I suggest, okay, so I said, 3 contracts is fine for me on this size. Based on my, the way I've set it up, I should be fine with 3 contracts. I will take this down and treat it like a $50,000 account for at least the first week, okay? I am trying to hit a goal of kind of getting to that buffer and above, because with Apex, you can actually withdraw into your buffer, which a lot of them don't allow. And so for me, I normally would be like, okay, let's just, I have a goal, a 150K account. The goal would be $1,000 a day. Within 10 days, I could be making a withdrawal on the last day of the first period of October, right? Because I could have 5 and 5. Okay. But I found that in a PA account, if I rush the process, you're going to fuck it up. So for me, all I want is this new valuation. I'm going to give myself 20 days. It took me, if I get to $9,000, it took me 10 days to get to $9,000, right? So let's extrapolate that. So I could potentially have $18,000 or more in this account, okay, at the time of first cash out. And I need a $5,100 buffer, okay? So what you need to know and what I need to tell you is just give yourself more time. So for me, maybe even the first 2 weeks, next 2 weeks, I will only trade one contract and make $500 a day if I go 5 for 5. Let's go. $500 a day, okay, times 5, that's $2,500, that's $10,000. And by the time I'm cashing out on the 4th, I'm getting paid out in November, and I've got a nice buffer going. So I wanted to show you guys that because that's something, you got to be careful because everyone has their quirks. Like I said, take Profit Trader. Their commissions are $5, and they have a cap on how much you can trade, 50 executions, which is not a bad rule there. $5 is steep on the commissions because it's a sim account, so there's no reason they couldn't lower it, but that's how they take money from you, right? They're telling you, month of October, 100%, okay, minus commissions. Well, technically, if they're plugged into you on the back end, okay, and it's a sim commission that goes to the pool, right? You make $10,000, but you have $1,000 in sim commission. Well, guess what? That doesn't eat into it. So that's another profit pool that they have that you don't think about. So Apex is $3. It's almost 50% discount. So for me, that's sufficient based on my scalping contracts and size. It can start to add up. And Apex is cashed out every time ahead of time. So for me, if I'm not disciplined enough to manage the 2 weeks and get these accounts past the 3-month threshold, that's on me. Okay, that's on me. I've seen people cash out $50,000 out of a $50K account. Okay, that's trading. That guy knows what he's ready to do. For me, that'd be early next year, big cash out, perfect. Okay, so that's my plan for October. I kind of I need to stick to that with my PAs. Just take it slow this month. We're showing some promise, but let me show you the last one. So I have a trade just like this from, I should probably pull it up. Okay. So it looks so identical. If you look here, this is the 5th and this is the 6th. You can't see it, so let's just go to the main screen so you can see it. Okay, on the right was yesterday, on the right is today. I bought a contract at 20, panicked out, not much heat, for a $40 gain, okay? Took off 4x on a 0 DTE. Can't even wait 3 hours. So today I come into it, and on Fridays right now I have to take my son to school, so I get distracted. And so for me, I kind of had, I'd taken all this heat, so I didn't feel good about it. I go to take my son to school, and I kind of was like, hey, one thing I'll be upset about is if I have this trade on and it goes into profit and then sinks back to 0 and I didn't take it, at least just get it off the table, I'll be upset. So it takes me off for another $40 gain. And instead of just making a 300% return on $20, this $2,000 investment turns into $17,000. And you say, well, the high is 166. That'd be 16,650. Well, look at this bid. This is on the bid side. So at that moment in time, that will immediately sell. The ask is so far up there. You should be able to make like 17.5 on that trade right there. So for me, I just need to be happy with this now. I passed an evaluation today. For me, there's things to be happy about, but oops, I don't want you guys to do that. Beep, beep, beep. 1, 2, 3, redo. So what I want you guys to know is like, what do you do with that information? You literally invested $2,000 at the perfect time and you didn't get it. If you beat yourself up over that, I'm going into, this weekend, Green Friday, Fresh Cash Friday, and I'm happy, guys. Like, if you don't have the trade, Don't worry about it. Like, you got out, okay? Better than a sharp stick in the eye, as one of my TikTok, I forget the fucking guy's name. He's a gambler. I can't even imagine the money that guy loses. But again, I'm reading the markets perfectly. That $2,000 investment, I could make that mistake now. Had I been in the trade, I could basically, once a month fuck it up and take the 2,000. Well, sorry, I could only need to be right once or twice a month, and I'm right 2 for 2 now. Not to say that this isn't a similar trade I've made and lost, but to me, I'm setting rules up that allow me to come back and be fresh and not have bias, not try to get back an old trade. Do I track certain trades? Yeah, I mean, I had an Amazon that absolutely killed it for me because I was wrong, but I was still bullish with the bias and still confident that the move was coming. I was just early. And so if you can stay confident, stay humble, take your stops, get out and reassess and not try to get right back in. The worst thing you guys can do is pull a move like I've been known to pull and just mess it all up because you get that heart of a gambler and you want to be right. Everybody wants to be right. You don't got to be right. That's my recap. Let me know. Please subscribe. Help me out. I don't do these videos just for myself. I do like doing the recaps, but I also want to help you guys become traders or better traders or more consistent traders or traders with less mistakes. So peace. You guys have a good weekend. Be safe. And we will see you next week.